We just got our hands on the brand new Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, and we are impressed.
This solar generator has more power, more expansion ports, faster UPS switching, better protection, and rolls around like butter even over the roughest terrain.
Could this be the perfect combination of power and portability for off-grid homestead projects and a central home backup?
Let's find out. Also, shout out to today's sponsor, Jackery. With their support, we get to keep making videos for you, and we get to nerd out on stuff we really like. So, here is the HomePower 3600 Plus. I'm gonna get it out of here. I like that it looks like a little tiny version of the 5000 Plus. It is 76 pounds, but this one has the handle and the wheels so that you can take it around wherever you want, which is super handy. Very excited about this feature. Inside is 3.5 kilowatt hours of LFP storage, a 3600 watt inverter, and plenty of USB ports. There's also a bunch of fun upgrades, but we'll get to those in a minute. First, we need to charge it up so we can put it to the test. Excuse me. All right, it's all charged up, ready to put it to the test. Well, it rolls really easy when there's not a Pyrenees in your life. All right, we're gonna take this down to the container shop and we're gonna do some heavy duty stuff with it. Okay, so all of our tools are here. We're not gonna move everything down there. We're just gonna work here at the garage. All right, first test, DeWalt miter saw. Ashley, 2x4s. Let's see how much power it uses. All right, so we had about a max of 1880 watts surge for that saw motor. No problem, handled it no problem. We got a little rain coming in, so I'm gonna use these handy handle and wheels to take it back into the solar shed, and then we'll finish our welding later. All right, water transfer time. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take this 300 gallons and we're gonna transfer it into our big tank. Even though we got a lot of rain, this one we drip irrigate a lot, so it still needs more water. We're just gonna see how much it uses, how long it would last, all that good stuff. So let's hook up all the hoses and get it going. Ready? All right, we used about 5% of the battery. It was about 1,000 watts for 10 minutes. It's getting dark here. It's the end of the day, so we are going to pick up our test tomorrow morning. Good morning. We're back out, and we're going to test some more stuff in the airstream. Hi, guys. Whoa, what is it? All right, watch out. First test, we're gonna make a warm drink with this little electric tea kettle. So, we'll plug it in and start it. After we turn the AC on. 1,500 watts for the little electric kettle. No problem with the 3600 watt inverter. Should be done in just a minute. This has got to steep for a minute, but while we're waiting, we're going to run the Instant Pot. And what are we cooking?
Rice.
Rice in the Instant Pot. Okay, I would open this, but there's a dog here, and he might eat the rice. So, we used about 5% of our battery. You'll notice that it used a lot of power to sort of heat up and pressurize, and then it basically dropped to 0. That's kind of what a pressure cooker does. So that was it 5 minutes of cooking? Mm-hmm. And then pressurized for a while, and then, anyway, it's done. So, I'm going to put it up here, because, like I said, I don't trust the dogs. All right, ready? Ta-da, it's rice. Congratulations, we did it.
I'm guessing if you've seen our other Jackery tests, these results didn't surprise you. The 3600 Plus is plenty powerful to run heavy-duty 120 volt appliances, and its small size combined with the wheels and handle make it very comfortable to move from one place to the other.
Should you need even more juice, you can chain 2 of these units together and run each one as a hot leg to get 240 volt power, or you can add additional battery packs for up to 21 kilowatt hours of storage. It also has upgraded surge protection, withstanding 2,000 volt spikes, and new heat-resistant ceramic membrane battery cells that are safer and more durable. We're talking 6,000 cycles, 10 years of performance, reliable all the way down to negative 20 degrees Celsius.
That's cool. Cold. Cool. Where the HomePower 3600 Plus really shines, though, is essential home backup. You all know how crazy our monsoon storms can get here, with buckets of water dumped in short periods of time, hail, hurricane force winds, and powerful lightning strikes.
Living in the middle of nowhere means that redundancy is really important where our critical appliances are concerned.
Now, we already know that the HomePower 3600 Plus can handle big loads. For small critical loads like fridges, freezers, internet routers, and sensitive electronics like computers, its massive storage means those items can stay powered for a very long time.
So easy to roll. Next test, refrigerator. All right, as you can see, it's working. It's using about 200 watts. That's obviously going to cycle on and off a bunch because any new refrigerator you buy is going to be very energy efficient. With 3.5 kilowatt hours of storage, it would run this for a really long time. Jackery also says that if you add the additional battery packs and you bring this up to 21 kilowatt hours, you could run a fridge for a family of 3 for up to 14 days, which is pretty cool. Time to go check the deep freeze.
Seriously?
Hi, big guy, what are you doing? What are you doing, huh? All right, ready? So we plugged this in and it jumped up to like 800, 900 watts, but then it immediately went back to 0. And that's kind of going to be the story for a lot of deep freezes, is they'll use a lot of power on startup, and then because they're so well insulated, they're just going to kind of shut off and hold that temperature, and they'll just kick on little bits. So you can imagine if you had a fridge and a freezer next to each other, you could plug both of them in, and those two appliances would use very little energy. You could keep them powered up with this 3600 for a long time. Last test inside the shed, we're going to look at internet gear and sensitive electronics. Final test. Here in the shed, we have 2 computers, 2 laptops, a screen, and then we have our whole Unify Wi-Fi setup, which is kind of hard to see back there, but basically it's a gateway, a switch, and an access point. and those are all sort of powered over here. And I would like those things to be safe during a lightning event or an emergency electrical event. This functionality is called UPS switching, and UPS stands for uninterrupted power supply. And all that really means is if you have your sensitive electronics plugged into the front of the Jackery, and the Jackery plugged into your wall, if your main power goes out, then it switches to powering those devices through the batteries in the inverter in the Jackery, and it does it really, really fast. In fact, it's the fastest it's ever been, 10 milliseconds or less. This is important because the faster that it switches, the less likely it is that your router is going to reboot and kick you offline or damage hard drives or sensitive electronics in your computer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug those things into the HomePower 3600 Plus, and then we're going to simulate what a power outage would look like so we can see how the UPS switching works. Okay, I'm crammed under the desk here. So what we're going to do is plug, I have everything up there put into power strips and they run into 2 plugs. So I'm going to unplug them. You can probably see another Jackery back here because we're actually doing what I'm going to show you all the time. You can do it, you can reach. It's going to take a minute for all this to boot up, but as you can see, we're using hardly any watts, 37 watts. Maybe we should turn the computers on. Oh man, we went up to 84 watts, 70 watts. It's crazy how power efficient this stuff is. All right, I'm pulling the plug. Here we go. Ready? See, it stayed on. Perfect. Of course, none of this matters if your Jackery isn't charged when an emergency strikes. That's why their zero drain technology is really cool.
All you have to do is charge this thing up to 100%, turn it off, stick it in a closet, forget about it for a year. Then when an emergency happens, you pull it out of your closet, you have 95% of your battery left. It's ready to go when you need it most. You can control the unit from the easy-to-use Jackery app, set up smart charging options to save money on your electrical bill, or even better, connect up to 1,000 watts of solar panels to keep it topped off.
Jackery has sent us a lot of units to review, but I really do think that the HomePower 3600 Plus is the perfect mix of power and portability. There's really not anything else out there like it.
Thanks again to Jackery for sponsoring today's video. And if you'd like to get your own HomePower 3600 Plus, visit the link in the description for early bird pricing.
Thanks for watching, friends. We'll see you next time.